Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I have such a good question for you today. It's one that I get from a lot of my clients, so I think that this will really hit home for many of you. Kelly says, my husband is struggling with some mental health issues, mostly anxiety and depression. He has been to see a doctor and got some meds, but I don't know if he's taking them because he doesn't seem to be getting better, and he gets defensive if I ask. He has struggled with depression before, but was doing fine until COVID hit. He lost his job as a restaurant manager in April after COVID shut everything down. He has anxiety over our finances and he is super fearful of getting the virus and watches the news constantly. He's obsessed and he tries to give me the daily report with the case counts and death totals, but I'm having a hard time being patient and I kind of snap at him and tell him I don't want to hear it. He seems to be hiding from his life, and I'm afraid he will dig his hole too deep to come out. He spends hours and hours away from our family just on his laptop in our room, and he gets angry if I suggest that he join me and the kids. I know this isn't about me, but I'm starting to feel resentful, and he's not stepping up for our family. He gets unemployment benefits, so we're surviving with that and my part time salary. But I don't have a lot of respect for his behavior. I'm overwhelmed by having to do everything myself, and I don't respect him for how he is choosing to disconnect from us. I'm committed to our marriage, but it's getting harder and harder to feel love for him. How do I deal with a spouse who is mentally ill? Kelly, such a good question. There is a lot of this going around, a lot of people suffering because of COVID, because of the economy, the election didn't help. There is just a lot of people struggling and a lot of real mental illness. Um, I've worked with several clients who have spouses that struggle with this in one form or another. Some are more severe, some are more on the mild side, but all of my clients express their difficulty in dealing with their partners and their behaviors and their mood and their functioning, the level that they function at. So, the problem with mental health is that it's very difficult to quantify the severity of someone's struggle. We have no idea how hard things are for them because we don't have access to their brains. We don't know what's happening in their mind. Mental illness isn't always visible. And because we can't see the disability, it's really hard sometimes for us to believe that it's there. Let me give you a quick example. I have a son who struggles with ADD. Now, I know that God gave me him because in my former profession as a school teacher, I taught at a drug and rehab center for teenagers. And I had lots of kids who would come in and they would self identify as I have ADHD. I can't do that because I have ADD. They would say these things. And I was pretty impatient with that kind of labeling of them. And I would say, you know what, you can't use that as a crutch. You've got to get going and just make yourself be productive. You've got to just get it done. And I really couldn't empathize because I had never experienced that in my life with any of my people that I love or anything like that. But I was blessed with a son who struggles with this. He has, and also on top of the ADD, a bit of a learning disability as well. And on the outside, he looks perfectly normal. He's super handsome. So people always expect him to act and think and behave like everyone else. And they can become easily frustrated with him when they realize that that is not the case, that he doesn't act and think the way that they think he should. On the flip side of that coin, I have a sister who has a physical disability. She's needed crutches in order to walk her whole entire life. And no one has ever expected her to get up and walk like everyone else because her disability is really apparent, right? So when someone struggles with mental illness, sometimes it's hard for the rest of us to manage our expectations because they look just like us. We can't see it. They're not missing a limb, they're not in a wheelchair, but their disability is every bit as real as one that's more obvious. So let's take a look at your model. Up here in our C line, in our circumstance line, remember the facts go here. This is something we can all agree on. And it sounds like your husband has had the diagnosis from a doctor that he has depression because he has meds. So in our circumstance line, husband diagnosed with depression. Okay. And your thought about that is he's not stepping up for our family. That thought makes you feel resentful. So then we have to say, okay, what do I do? How do I show up when I'm feeling resentful? How do I act? That goes here in our A line. That's our action line. So we snap at him, think about why I don't respect him, judge him, wish he were different, hate his choices, think about all the ways that he should be getting over this, stepping up for our family. Like we're just ruminating a lot. We're thinking a lot about how he's failing in this regard, right? We're not treating him very kindly because we're getting frustrated with the situation. Your result is always going to be tied back to your thought. And when you have this thought and you feel resentful and you act this way, the result for you is I'm not stepping up for him. You have the thought, he's not stepping up for our family. Your result, I'm not stepping up for him. So we got to go back up to this thought and really pick it apart. We got to crack it open and see what else is there. And I think the first question that you should ask yourself is, why do I believe that he should be stepping up for our family right now? If he had a broken leg or if he had a missing limb, we wouldn't insist that he get up and get hiking. Like we wouldn't expect someone who needed time to heal from a physical disability to get up and perform, right? Yeah, but when it's mental illness, we do. We want them to get over it, get back to normal, and get back to life, be our partner, right? So we've just really got to question this thought. Is it possible that he actually needs some time to heal? Is it possible that he's doing exactly what he needs to right now in order to heal? Is it possible that he needs some time to get his head together and let the meds kick in? Most people who struggle from depression think so poorly of themselves that to have their spouse, the one they love most in the world, criticizing them and thinking poorly of them as well, it really sets them further back. So I think it's going to be really important for you to decide, how do I want to see him? When I see someone with a physical disability, do I want to see them as a person who is less than? Or can I love them and have compassion for them and know that they're doing their best? What do you want to think about this person that you love who has a real problem that you can help improve the situation rather than downgrade it? And also really make you feel better about who you are and the way that you're showing up during this difficult trial for your family. Can you find compassion for all of you? And just know that this is a phase that we're going through, and we all need some time to, and some kindness and some love to move forward. Because your husband will heal much more quickly with your love and support than your criticism and your anger and your frustration. So Kelly, I hope that's helpful for you. I know it will be helpful for lots of my clients. If you are not in my Facebook group yet, why not? My Facebook group is called Make Your Marriage Amazing, and it's so great. I have an incredible community of women who are just, they come together with lots of support and love for each other. They're dedicated to making their marriages amazing. Come join my group if you haven't yet. We'd love to have you, love to support you. I'm always popping in there with some fun challenges and some great tips and tools to help you make your marriage amazing. So come join me. That's all for today, you guys. Have a beautiful week.